What up guys, it's Crypto Ether back at it again with another crypto video. As always, I never give financial advice. Always do your own research. We live in a super volatile crypto market, so never invest more than you're willing to lose. That being said guys, huge Starl video I have planned for today guys. We have a couple of episodes of pilot tales to go over and just a bunch of huge announcements from the team. I'm so stoked to bring you this video today guys, but before we jump into that, make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and also don't forget to leave a comment and show some support for your boy Crypto Ether, right? That being said, let's jump right into this video. Okay, cool. So we will go to episode 2 and we'll go over this pilot tales, right? It's basically the lore behind the Starl metaverse, guys. I'm so stoked that they're doing this. It just builds a really cool atmosphere for the upcoming metaverse and warp nexus, guys. There's just so much to talk about, but I will delay this no farther. We'll jump right into episode 2, right? If you guys did not see my previous video, it was going over episode 1, so I want to bring you guys these episodes as they come out, right? So episode 2, I make you a seat of, okay, and before I start reading guys, you have to apologize. I'm not like the best reader, but I definitely like to read them out loud and go over it with you guys as best as I can, right? So that being said, let's jump right into episode 2. I make you seat of joke, so my affections are clearly communicated, friend Arvin. But of joke, Arvin corrected him between delicious mouthfuls, and you're doing it wrong. Your efforts are noted and appreciated, Zeb, old pal, he said, shoveling a few more spoonfuls and gulping them down loudly. This grub is seriously tasty, Z. Can we add it to my ledger? I seem to be caught. Between paydays again? There was a moment of silence as they stared at each other. Arvin laughed with a spray of his meal in the cook's direction. Zeb's sense of humor was dry and sometimes he struggled with delivering punchlines. I will remind you of your promise to enlighten me with all the details concerning your recent investments in commodities, Zeb. Could you shift your gears and subjects quickly? Ouch. Okay then, let's get out of the way. Arvin finished the last bite, set the bowl on the nearest table, and leaned closer to Zeb. Remember last month I told you that I met a beautiful Tamarin woman in the betting hall? Zeb nodded. You know me. I usually gamble in fun, small amounts. I set a limit and then enjoy myself within those boundaries. As soon as I met her, I started winning and my system went out the porthole. She was like a serious good luck charm or something. Winning for her became intoxicating, and I kept chasing that emotion all night. She finally pulled me away from the tables, and to my amazement, I was up well over 100K and going home with her. I fail to see how your mating rituals have anything to do with ... I'm getting there. Hold your docking clamps. So like I was saying, we're on the flight home and she mentions to me about a business venture that her family invested heavily in, expecting higher than market returns in a quick turn period. Well, I'm no chuckle helmet, so I asked her a lot of questions. I'm told about a huge private venture to build and launch a station in the non-aligned region of known space, the first of its kind to be funded and constructed by a trade conglomerate, not the dominant species of the region, offering traders as much as triple the going rate for commodities. The project is not short on haulers and trying to turn and burn. My friend offered to include my funds as a part of her family's investment so I wouldn't have to pay the brokerage fees a second time, but I had to ask quickly. You sign over your entire cred stick balance? Didn't you, Arvin? Both of them. Both? I had a spare with my low grav day funds on it. Zeb shook his head slowly, falling to hide his disappointment, but showed some restraint by not making additional jokes at his friend's expense. So that's it. She took your credits. End of story. Zeb began bussing the tables around him. Oh, we kind of skipped there. Okay, where did we go? Began bussing the tables around him. No, there's more. I was invited to a co-pilot on one of the freight missions. Kind of a big deal, actually. Before Arvin could muster up the next word, Zeb silenced him with a flat metallic palm held a few centimeters from his nose. Paint the rest of your sad tale while we walk. There's someone you need to meet, and we shouldn't make him wait. Placing the pile of dirty plates on the counter, Zeb reached up and unhooked the hinged door above it. The door slammed with a loud bang, Announcing that the kitchen was closed for the day, Arvin retrieved his lucky titanium wedge while Zeb buttoned up the rest of the shop. The promenade was crowded at the time of the cycle, the decks bustling with the pilots and traders hustling between missions. Long, orderly lines formed behind each console as they passed. So, who's the important person? Arvin's hand idly patted the dock tube in his satchel, a sudden reminder of unfinished business. Fennel Torment is a brilliant engineer. He is the one who helped me adjust my life with these, raising both arms for emphasis. Shortly after we met, I was offered a position in the ship's galley. I served the crew for several revolutions, eventually earning the top spoon. Fennel was always generous to me, and they developed a craving for my, I don't want to mispronounce that word, coolest? It has been many years since we flew together. Fennel has made an impressive fortune as PAL broker in the sector, but remains largely unchanged by their wealth and status. Our friendship and their stake for my cooking remains constant. Currently, I'm currently ahead in the favors owed column with Fennel, and have decided to cash in a favor for you, Arvin. Not another word of this business until I hear you tell the tale of the freight mission that triggered your recent downturn. So let's scroll down here. Arvin tried to sigh, but it came out sounding more like a moan. He struggled to find the words to tell his friend what happened without sounding like a complete fool. He glanced toward one of the huge cylindrical storage tanks that dominated this level of the station. Several new issue pilots dressed in spotless flight suits were dancing together and admiring their reflections in front of the massive curved tank. Arvin couldn't hear the music, but he imagined it to be fast-paced and high-energy song. Arvin smiled and thought he would rather trade places with one of the dancers and then walk a kilometer in his boots. Mindful of his friend's discomfort, Zeb remained silent as they walked. Okay, cool. So that is the end of episode 2, and I believe we have an episode 3 here. So we'll jump right into that one and continue the story, right? So let's keep going here. Episode 3. I'm not the greatest did I say dog farter? Dog fighter, Arvin said, finally breaking the long silence. But I have a gift for steering the bigger birds. It's like I can extend my senses around the ship. It becomes part of me, like I can almost feel through it, you know? He closed his eyes, trying to connect the confidence he had when sitting in a cockpit. He felt the cold touch of Zeb's metal hand, pulling him subtly from the path of the collision with a longshoreman. The towering Aran was a powerful-looking brute, as he was as tall as he was wide. Hoisted upon his shoulder, he carried a shipping container, usually carried by 2 or 3 men. Smiling with disdain, the longshoreman appeared disappointed for being denied the opportunity to knock the smaller man off his feet. Seemingly without effort, he shifted the load opposite side and grunting at them dramatically as he passed by. Arvin laughed without considering the potential danger of the situation. A massive observation portal dominated the ceiling of the central station hub. It provided a glorious view of the stars swirling nebula beyond and I'm so sorry, guys. Nebula beyond, a ring of spoke-like structures framing it all in. Arvin considered the preference for being spaced like this as opposed to displayed on screens. I have logged more than enough simulator hours and flown plenty of sorties, a number of 2 to qualify for the captain's chair. I was sure that I'd get a big chair on this mission, but even my connections and personal investments weren't enough to seal the deal. Zeb thought of things he could say to help his friend, but better decided silence was his better option. He pointed toward the narrow walkway, which was a lane created 2 large stacks of numbered storage containers. Arvin followed him through the nearest doorway. So, we're going to pre-flight, Arvin continued, and I'm checking the output levels of the ship's new Nexus unit. I may not be in charge, but I want to impress whenever I can. The captain eventually shows up on the shipyard to meet the crew and prepare for the voyage ahead. He told his name right off the bat. It sounded familiar. It took a minute or two to realize that his last name was the same as my girlfriend, Harris. 3 meters shy out the door, Zeb stopped to turn and face Arvin, visibly wincing in anticipation for the next words to come out of his mouth. They are both around the same age, Arvin continued. Both possess similar deep jade complexion. Naturally, I assumed they must be siblings and went to ask him directly. He paused for a painfully long moment. She was, in fact, not his sister. She was his wife. Zeb felt his jaw dropping before he could react. The thick steel door behind him slid open with a massive release of pressure. He heard a familiar chuckle with a deep resonating voice. Zeb, you old titanium spatula, I got excited when I saw you on my books. I hope you brought me something delicious to eat. His big voice didn't quite match his small frame. What Fennel lacked in stature, he made up for with his immense presence and contagious energy. Zeb expected nothing less when he turned around to see a beaming, ear-to-ear smile greeting him. He motioned Arvin to pick up his pace. He gave Arvin one of those looks. Regrettably, Fennel, we had a late run on my sausage porridge. They completely cleaned me out, Zeb said, shaking the man's hand. Deception was not one of Zeb's more refined social skills, but with no regard for possible suspicion raised, he dared to dabble from time to time. Satisfied with the ruse, Fennel waddled back into dwelling where he lived and conducted business. Do not take a seat until you're instructed to do so, Zeb whispered sternly in Arvin's ear. The furnishings in the space were low to the ground, made with an excessive paddling covered with soft textiles. From the back of the room, chorus chemical burners hissed and popped, distorting an electric chamber pop playing through the house PA system. Fennel nestled back into his overstuffed chair, positioned on the floor. Front and center before him was a beautiful hookah made of platinum. Taking up the hose and mouthpiece connected to the immense pipe, he drew deeply from it and invited Zeb to make himself comfortable. Zeb took a seat to Fennel's left, declining to indulge. Fennel Torment, I would like for you to make the acquaintance of my dear friend Arvin Tuttle, the pilot, the one I told you about. Fennel flashed the crowded teeth from behind the lips he made from the plump polymer injections. Slowly, the broker bowed his head toward Arvin. With hesitation, Arvin looked at Zeb for guidance. He wondered about what he had previously said to him, but he would have to wait till later, he thought. Aware of Arvin's discomfort, Zeb fought to suppress his amusement and motioned toward an open chair. Too obvious to be confused or offended, Arvin drove his head first, with childlike amusement, into the chair on Fennel's other side, landing initially feet up and squealing. He also declined to participate in the smoking. Any friend of Zebek's is a friend of mine, Fennel said. I welcome you and your peace and protection within my home. I understand your recent misfortunes have compounded into insignificant obstacles, potentially preventing you from achieving your ultimate goal. This gave Arvin a better understanding of what he had said about him before, but he wasn't sure if he had missed a question that required him to answer. If you're talking about my ultimate goals, Arvin said, carefully choosing his words, it would be to captain my own missions, to own a PAL, and to command my own ship, to keep the majority of share of what I earn, to control my own destiny, to fall in love. Very touching and all quite achievable goals, my new friend, Fennel said, laying the smoking mouthpiece down next to him. Before we snap your fingers and make magic happen, you need to tell me everything you know about the pirate group calling themselves the Shadow Company. To spare no detail. To be continued, guys. So, who's the Shadow Company? You know, do you like the relationship between Arvin and Fennel and, guys and Zeb, right? These are three characters that's been introduced to us, and they all have their own unique personalities. I love the characters that they're building. This is just a really, really cool atmosphere that we're getting from the Starl metaverse, guys, and I'm all for it. I'm digging the storyline. I really do think that, Arvin, we all want to be Arvin in this Starl metaverse, right? Like, we all want the same goals as he wants. We want to command our own ship. We want to, make our own profits. This is what I plan on doing, guys. I'm trying to prepare myself to command my own ship. These are dreams that I have for the Starl metaverse. I want my own living quarters. I want my own ship. Like, I want everything that I want to, live the best life in this Starl metaverse. So it's just really cool to get the lore before we get the actual metaverse, guys. They're building a really cool storyline and just giving us background and atmosphere and vibes. Like, I'm all for it. So let's jump into the Twitter account and see what they have said recently, right? So we did get another article here, and I wanted to go over this with you guys, right? A little bit more backstory towards the Starl metaverse, right? So let me see here. Where's it at? I believe if I go like this, I'll be able to see. Okay. Oop. Where are we going here? There we go. This is the one, right? This is the latest. I want to make sure it's the latest. Sorry, guys. Is email 3 it? It doesn't look like the same one here. Let me see. Just gotta make sure. Yeah, that's the newest one. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure I'm bringing you guys the latest and greatest, right? So let's jump right into it. Communications log 54FS_Starl_B57. From the desk of Setter Brundy to all members of Starl, redacted. Weekly progress report, open edition. As previously advised, I have kept the construction of the redacted a secret. However, somehow the information got leaked and the redacted is pretty much an open secret now. To make things worse, the crew did not notice that KSNN reporter burned through it. I like that. Burned through it. Has been hiding inside the hub for days, and he observed them putting up the redacted. It is not clear at this point whether or not he managed to get any footage, but who are we kidding? That guy doesn't miss a beat, and he'd rather lose a foot than an exclusive. We might as well get the word out that the redacted is under heavy construction. It is getting harder to conceal every day, especially since they started testing the redacted inside. There is no way we can keep this a secret any longer. It's also taking its toll on my crew. There's even talk about a redacted taking place in there. It's all a moot at this point anyways if Burn got any footage. Add to that all the redacted reverberating throughout the hub, and it's pretty clear to everybody that a redacted is being built in there. Setter Brundy, construction foreman. So guys, these are just like cryptic messages. You have to fill in the blanks, right? This is really, really cool. I love the lore behind Starl. These emails are great. It's just making this project so much fun, guys. Like the more lore they give us, just the more interesting the project gets. So definitely keep that up, guys. I am so stoked for the Starl metaverse. Again, it is my favorite metaverse project to cover, and yeah, just shout out the team, shout out the community. You guys are killing it. I love the support that I get from the community. If that doesn't speak as well as the team, and if that doesn't speak for the project, then I don't know what does. Like, there's nothing better in cryptocurrency and metaverses than a strong community, guys. This is gonna be the future. Like, the metaverse won't work unless there's a strong community behind it as well as a team, and we have both those in this Starl project. And I do want to take this time out to just really thank everybody involved, everybody that shows love from the Starl community, whether it's the Telegram or the Twitter. You know, shout out the team for showing love to me. I appreciate all you guys. The creator is awesome. Shout out Starling Mo. Shout out everybody. I mean, I could just go on, names and names and names. But yeah, you guys know who you are. I really do appreciate all of you. So thank you for taking the time out to watch my Starl video today. And make sure you do smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and also leave a comment below and tell me if you guys are stoked about this upcoming metaverse that we're getting, because I definitely know that I am, right? That being said, it's Crypto Ether. Make sure you stay tuned for all Starl things related here on this channel. I do appreciate all of you. It's Crypto Ether, and I am out of here, guys. Peace.